Hey everyone! Today we're going to be diving deep into the latest Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer. We're going to be breaking down the footage and analyzing all of the exciting features that we can expect to see in the game. Remember to subscribe, like the video and all of those beautiful things, and before we start I just have to preface everything by saying I was pleasantly surprised by the gameplay and overall came out of it with a positive regard towards the game. I also want to talk about my expectations for this reveal and how they helped me form my opinion. If you follow me or my channel, you know what I want from an Assassin's Creed game. The thrilling parkour the series is known for, the stealth and the assassin motif are some of my most appreciated aspects of the franchise. We also knew Mirage was planned as a Valhalla DLC, so it all begins there. I wasn't expecting an overhauled parkour because that would probably take a whole bunch of work for this very small game. So yeah, the absence of any significant parkour changes did not hit me hard because I was already sort of waiting for it. Yeah, deep down it's still disappointing, you know, but it doesn't hurt much because I was already prepared. So with that aside, let's dive into what was shown. We start off the trailer with the devs showing some movement from Basim. The density of parkour elements has definitely increased, which cleverly masks any sluggishness in the parkour movement. The animations are also pretty reminiscent of Valhalla. While the navigation might not be perfect, I think speeding up the animations a bit could make Basim feel much more agile. After an assassination, the guards spot Basim and give chase, and we immediately see a brand new chase breaker mechanic that reminds us of the old games. With a simple player input, Basim can drop down structures and halt the guards in their tracks. You'll even notice a logo indicating that the guards are actively pursuing Basim. And speaking of familiar sights, guess what we stumble upon? An assassin bureau. Now this is pretty cool and I'm glad they included it. We even enter from the roof just like in Assassin's Creed 1. After entering the bureau, we can see that Valhalla's RPG-focused cutscene framework is starting to feel a little bit outdated. The characters' animations are a little bit stiff and generic, and they overall feel robotic, even though their voices are being really well performed by the voice actors. There isn't much to say here though. The environment looks cool, but I do recognize it feels like it needs more polishing to do until release. Overall, I think the game looks pretty good, at least as good as Valhalla. But then again, I wasn't really expecting any big leaps in terms of graphical fidelity here. After the cutscenes, we regain control of Basim, who, after taking down a major target, gains the opportunity to unlock a new tool from the shop. Now, I have to admit, the warning message feels a bit strange, but essentially it means that your choice is permanent, and you'll only get a chance to unlock a different tool after killing another major target. It reminds me of how Altair acquired better gear by completing contracts for Al Mualim, but now the choice is in the player's hands. I really like this. We have a variety of options including a torch, blow dart, cherry bombs, smoke bombs, mines, and throwing knives. Which one are you most excited to try? Let me know in the comments below. We then proceed to choose an assassination contract from the board in the bureau. I must say the presentation here is fantastic. One of my major gripes with the latest games was that missions felt too gamey with their UI presentation, but this, my friends, takes it up a notch. Of course, there's still room for improvement, but beggars can't be choosers. Another thing you'll notice is that optional objectives are back. Let's get to the most exciting part, shall we? We can see the player can fast forward in time by sitting on a bench to blend in and choosing to get another time of day. This was already present in Valhalla, but now it's not because Basim just meditates randomly in the middle of the street. And right after that, we see that the eagle mechanic is back, but with a cool twist. Now, certain outposts or areas can have marksmen who will target Enkidu, Basim's companion. To regain control of the eagle, you'll need to deal with these archers first. I really like this because it adds an extra layer of challenge and strategy, whereas before the eagle was just a crutch to mark everything in the camp. As we infiltrate the walls, we witness the return of the classic eagle vision with its iconic color coding. Remember the good old days? Red for enemies, no color for regular civilians, white for important information, yellow for targets or interesting markers like chests, and blue for friends. It's a nostalgic callback that almost brings a tear to my eye. And guess what? Social stealth is making a comeback in Assassin's Creed. With so many guards around, we have the opportunity to blend in with a group of people. It's a feature fans have been eagerly waiting for, and it's finally here. Oh, and let me tell you about one of my most requested features, Tools. In Mirage, they're no longer tied to specific abilities or cost adrenaline. Instead, they require ammo, which perhaps can be replenished at a vendor or obtained from guards, or maybe even crafted, since we do see materials make a comeback. And the best part? We finally have aiming for our smoke bombs and knives and other tools. Basim showcases his skills by precisely aiming the blow dart and even a sherry bomb. These seemingly small additions make a tremendous difference in the gameplay and enhance the experience for seasoned players. And here's another neat detail. When Basim is aiming, we get quick access to other tools without the need to interrupt the flow and go back to the tool wheel. It's a small touch, but it's definitely appreciated. Gotta love it. And did you notice something while Basim was climbing? He only grabs onto architectural details just like in the old games. No more Spider-Man climbing abilities here, and personally, I'm all for it. It brings back that authentic Assassin's Creed feel. After taking out the marksman, we can see that Enkidu is no longer afraid and we can use him to detect our target. Take a look at that golden marking I mentioned before. It helps us easily identify our target. Now, the target is pretty much exposed and killable, however, the developers really wanted to showcase a brand new feature, the Assassin Focus. It can be seen as a crutch for players who are less familiar with stealth mechanics, allowing Basim to mark multiple targets and execute them swiftly, teleporting between each assassination, even through large gaps in terrain. Yes, it might look strange to some, but hey, if you prefer a more traditional experience, you can simply play without it. Next, Basim sets up an escape route by aiming and strategically placing a mine. Gotta love me some tactical planning. And with a swift move, our target is assassinated. After the assassination, we get a small look into the game's combat. A guard approaches Basim to attack, and a well-timed parry seems to allow an instant kill or a kickback. Reminiscent of the grab and throw mechanics from Assassin's Creed 1. Imagine kicking enemies off of rooftops or against structures and other enemies. It adds a whole new level of possibilities. We didn't see much of the combat, unfortunately, but since the devs described Basim as a glass cannon, I really believe it won't be the focus of this game. And to make a dramatic exit, Basim disappears into the crowd using a stylish smoke bomb. Talk about a thrilling escape. One minor observation I have is that Basim seems a bit slow in certain moments, but it's possible that it was intentional for the demo, I can't say for sure. And this is it, the Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer analyzed. But even after all that we've covered, there are still some lingering concerns on my part. First of all, this is an offshoot from Valhalla, and Valhalla unfortunately had some of the most disappointing AI I've ever encountered in a video game. We all know how the guards were in that game.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
In this demo, however, the guards seem to behave quite well, and I didn't notice any glaring issues. But, and this is a big but, I genuinely hope the developers have addressed this problem, because the stealth gameplay is shaping up to be incredibly solid. It would be a shame if all of our enjoyment were to be spoiled and the game faced criticism for repeating the same AI mistakes as Valhalla. And let's talk about Basim's experience in the Animus. It's clear that he isn't reliving select memories as we were accustomed to in the previous iterations of the Animus. However, I really hope that we are given the ability to replay contracts and missions separately. Imagine this scenario. You initially played a contract using only knives, but now you're eager to give it another go with a newly acquired blow dart, all while creating different YouTube videos. Unfortunately, without a dedicated replayability function, you would need to meticulously manage your saves and catalog them to determine which one corresponds to each specific contract. You can see how that can become quite a hassle. Having some form of replayability feature would benefit all players and ensure that the game remains engaging for an extended period of time. I truly believe it would be a valuable addition to the overall experience for everyone. Alright guys, overall the Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer has me pretty excited about the game. The setting, the presented gameplay mechanics, and the story all look fantastic, and I can't wait to experience it all for myself. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!